Artificial intelligence is everywhere today. It powers our search engines, shapes the recommendations we see on social media, and generates images as well as text, and increasingly influences businesses, government, and education. AI is being celebrated as the defining technology of our time. Yet behind this glittering narrative lies a far less glamorous reality. AI's enormous thirst for water, its growing strain on already scarce supplies, and the geopolitical patterns of extracting the risk repeating the colonial past in digital future. Let's break it down in today's episode of TAC Explained. To truly understand this story, we must begin with the data centers, the backbone of AI. These server farm demands constant cooling to prevent overheating, and that cooling is often achieved using vast quantities of fresh water. In Arizona, for instance, Microsoft's data center campus in Goodyear is projected to consume more than 50 million gallons of drinking water each year simply to cool the machines. This is unfolding in a state already battling water scarcity, where farmers are forced to abandon crops, residents face restrictions, and aquifers are shrinking at an alarming rate. In effect, AI is a thirsty technology being employed in one of the thirstiest regions of the world. The problem is not confined to the United States. In Chile's Atacama Desert, one of the driest places on Earth, lithium mining, crucial for batteries that power artificial intelligence infrastructure, consumes enormous amount of groundwater. Indigenous communities have reported shrinking wetlands, dying livestock, and disrupted cultural practices as their ecosystem collapse under the pressure of extraction. Here too, water that sustains human and ecological life is redirected to sustain digital life elsewhere, while the benefits flow far beyond these communities that pay the price. Similar tensions are emerging in Europe. In Netherlands, residents of Groningen have pushed back against Google's massive data center after revelations that the facilities were consuming millions of liters of drinking water annually, enough to supply tens of thousands of households. As summers grow hotter and water demand spike, local people have accused tech companies of privileging server cooling over human needs. Ireland, meanwhile, has become one of Europe's most concentrated hubs for data centers. In Dublin alone, facilities run by Microsoft and Amazon already consume 14% of country's electricity. Much of it is tied to water-intensive power plants. Officials have warned that the combined energy and water drain threatens national security, prompting a temporary freeze on new data center approvals. The Global South faces an equally stark dilemma. In Bangalore, India's Silicon Valley, the city's rapid expansion of IT hubs and data infrastructure has collided with one of the world's worst urban crises around water. Entire neighborhoods depend on expensive tanker water, while gleaming tech campuses demand uninterrupted cooling systems. The contrast highlights how AI's thirst magnifies existing inequalities between those who can afford water and those who cannot. Even within the United States, the strain is unevenly distributed. In Iowa, for example, Facebook's data center have faced criticism for drawing heavily on local water supplies in region where agriculture is already vulnerable to drought. The clash between industrial-scale water use for digital infrastructure and the basic needs of the local communities and farmers underscore how AI's hidden costs are borne most heavily at the community level. Even AI's energy consumption loops back into water. Power plants that supply electricity to data centers, whether coal, gas, or nuclear, are themselves water intensive, used for cooling turbines and generating steam. This creates a destructive feedback loop. More data means more electricity. More electricity means more water drawn from stressed rivers and aquifers. By 2028, AI-related electricity demand in the US alone could reach 300 terawatt-hours annually, each kilowatt putting water along with it. The climate burden of AI is therefore not just carbon emissions, but also escalating drain on the world's freshwater systems. Tech giants are aware of this mounting crisis. Microsoft has pledged to become water positive by 2030, while Google has promised to replenish more water than it consumes. These pledges sound admirable, but the reality is more complicated. Restoring wetlands in one location or funding water projects abroad does nothing to solve the depletion of aquifers in Arizona, the drying salt flats in Chile, or the groundwater stress in Bangalore. Much like the carbon offsets, these water offsets risk becoming a greenwashing tool, global gestures that obscure local harms. This brings us to the deeper question: who gets to use water and for what purpose? Across the world, communities face droughts, crop failures, and drinking water shortage, while billions of gallons are redirected to keep AI servers humming. Once again, as in earlier extractive economies, the benefits accrue to corporations and consumers in the global north, while the costs are imposed on the vulnerable communities, often in the global south or in economically fragile regions. AI's empire is thus not only digital but also hydrological, reshaping who has the access to water and who is denied to it. Seen this way, AI's footprint is not just a technical challenge but a deeply political and ethical one. If the expansion of artificial intelligence means further depletion of the rivers, aquifers, and wetlands, then its promise comes at far too high a price. Do we really want a future where the convenience of AI chatbots or image generators for some translates into empty wells, dead ecosystems, and water insecurity for others? The alternative is possible, demanding transparency about how much water is being consumed, ensuring that the renewable energy and the closed-loop cooling systems replace wasteful models and prioritize the needs of communities most affected by the scarcity. It also means questioning whether AI must grow endlessly or whether its development should be bounded by planetary limits. Artificial intelligence is often portrayed as inevitable, unstoppable, and universally beneficial. But history teaches us that technology is never neutral. It always reflects the values and power structures of its time. The story of AI then is not about innovation and efficiency, but also about water, justice, and survival. Because at the end of the day, the real question is not just what AI can do for us, but what is it taking from us, and whether we are willing to let our most precious resources be sacrificed in silence. That is all from me today. This is Nidhi, and you're watching the Asian Chronicles.